Welcome to the second video in our four-part series on discovering marketing in the Northeast region of the world. These countries equate to almost 25% of the world economy. Each of these countries represent growing economies and have marketing potential for growth. We will be reviewing the individual strengths of each country as well as their potential risk and marketing challenges over the course of this series. We will start by discussing the financial environment. The Chinese currency is known as the yuan. The yuan has weakened against the US dollar and dropped to 7.004 yuan to 1 US dollar. Since the huge devaluation in the 1990s, the yuan has fluctuated with an all-time low of 8.73 in January 1994. Since January of 2013, it has fluctuated between 6.05 and 7.04, but has been relatively stable for the past decade. The currency in Hong Kong is the Hong Kong dollar. The conversion of the Hong Kong dollar to the US dollar has fluctuated over the last 5 years and is currently at 7.75 to 1 US dollar. In 1972, the Hong Kong dollar was repegged from the British pound to the US dollar, with the rate changing multiple times over the next few decades. The currency in Japan is the Japanese yen. The conversion rate is 107.32 Japanese yen to 1 US dollar. The Japanese yen has historically been a mere fraction of the value of the US dollar, but it lost even more value as 2012 ended. The value of the yen is intentionally kept low by the Japanese government as the country's economy is export heavy, and the low yen value helps to keep prices competitive. The currency used in South Korea is the South Korean won. Currently, the exchange rate is 1.13 won for every 1 US dollar. Historically, the South Korean won has maintained an almost par level with the US dollar, having only a 20 cents difference over the last decade. With a strong economy and competitive financial power compared to its Asian counterparts, plenty of purchasing power can be found in South Korea. In this section, we will be discussing the economic and marketing environment. As an emerging economy, China faces many development challenges. One of the most pressing issues being income inequality. The growing income gap between rural and urban areas has been stirring social unrest in China and poses a threat to its harmonious society. Annual per capita income in Chinese urban areas saw a significant rise over the last decade and is still rising at a high pace, but it is currently at 42,359 yuan, which is low in comparison to the world average. China's coastal provinces are relatively wealthy, and the country gradually becomes poorer the further west it goes. The darker blue areas along the coast are the cities of Beijing and Tianjin and the city of Shanghai, where average incomes are more than 3 times as much as the interior. Since opening up to foreign trade and investment and implementing free market reforms in 1979, China has been among the world's fastest growing economies, with a GDP growth averaging 9.5% through 2018. This growth has enabled China to help raise an estimated 800 million people out of poverty. Bringing a new product to China can create new markets for industries currently experiencing overcapacity and stimulate economic development in poorer regions of China while aligning with Chinese culture. Digital and mobile marketing are a critical part of the mix for reaching Chinese consumers. About 90% of survey respondents said digital marketing is extremely important, especially when it comes to communicating with younger consumers. To effectively market in this region, it may mean altering some brand attributes to demonstrate alignment with local Chinese culture and taste. Due to such large populations and cities in China, the market is much larger than in any other country that you can take your product to. The current median monthly household income in Hong Kong as of 2018 reached 27,000 Hong Kong dollars. This amount has grown over the years and at one point was as low as 17,400 just 9 years prior in 2009. The median salary in Hong Kong has also risen over the years and is currently at 38,100 Hong Kong dollars per month. In 1997, Hong Kong returned to Chinese rule and is currently governed under the one country, two systems principle. This principle allows the city freedoms such as self-governing power, limited election rights, its own currency, and a largely independent legal system. This principle also allows Hong Kong to continue with their autonomy on the world business stage, allowing them to be a leading global financial and business center. However, as we can see, this principle has not necessarily helped Hong Kong with their growth, as mainland China's economic growth is outpacing theirs. Hong Kong has become the middleman between China and the rest of the world when it comes to imports and exports. By 2018, they accounted for approximately 55.5% of China's total overseas direct investments. At the start of the trade war between the United States and China in 2018, Hong Kong was instrumental in China avoiding tariffs from the United States by routing 8% of their exports and 6% of their imports through their territory. However, all of this is in jeopardy as U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo recently declared that Hong Kong was no longer autonomous from China, and President Trump stated he would begin taking steps to revoke the city's favored trade status with the U.S., which could lead to other problems for the territory. In 2016, Japan's average household income was 5,602,000 yen, which equals 49,639 US dollars. However, the median household income is 4,420,000 yen, which equals 39,165 US dollars. This means that 61.5% of Japanese people live below the average household income. Japan's income distribution is focused in population-dense regions. Tokyo, which is in Kanto, is the capital and wealthiest city in Japan, providing about 18% of Japan's GDP. Japan is the third largest economy in the world. However, there has been little GDP growth in recent years. The economy suffers from deflation and failed attempts to correct it through Abenomics, the policies used by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Japan was expecting to receive a significant economic boost from the Summer Olympic Games. However, the Games were postponed to 2021 due to COVID-19, adding to the already stressful economic situation in Japan. To find success in Japan, it is important for companies to focus marketing strategies in population-dense areas, as those areas also possess higher income and the consumers will be more open to new products. South Korea represents a success story in terms of rapid country development. In 1980, South Korea's GDP per capita compared amongst the poorest countries in the world. In 2004, their GDP surpassed $1 trillion, and today it is estimated at $2.3 trillion. With the 12th largest economy in the world and an average GDP growth rate of 7.3% annually, South Korea has a thriving and successful economy with plenty of purchasing power. Most of the income distribution for South Korea can be found in population-dense areas in the Northeast region, which include Seoul and the surrounding cities. Marketing activities, with direct selling being the most successful, should be focused in these population dense areas, as this is where the highest income locations can be found. The average household income per capita is $16,167. This slide contains references for information utilized in this video. This slide contains additional references for information utilized in this video.